Right, the song is written by Mickey McConnell, who's a Derry boy living in Kerry, as far as I know nowadays. Somewhere in Listo, I think. He's the guy who wrote Only Our Rivers Run Free, which was written at 17 years of age. Apparently, it's a remarkable song for a 17-year-old to write. He's also more recently, as far as I understand it, responsible for the Little Aldi song, which you may have heard on the radio recently, or if you haven't, it's worth Googling, it's a bit of a laugh. But this one is a more serious one. It's a thing called Peter Pan and Me. It was written up in the 70s about the kind of rebirth and resurgence of the IRA, who had been kind of pretty much in abeyance. But when the government of Britain cracked down so hard on the People's Democracy Movement and the civil rights movements in the late 60s, and led to the Burntallet Bridge and all that sort of thing, which eventually culminated in the Battle of the Bogside, etc., etc. The kind of area got a bit of a resurgence or a kick out of it, and it built them back up again. This song kind of explains maybe how and some of the consequences of that. I hope you like it anyway. It's called Peter Pan and Me. Here we go. We knew we faced the power that comes from money when we marched against the Empire's mighty schemes. They were armed with special powers and legislation, while we were armed with youth and foolish dreams. But it seemed so right in Derry all that summer, as we took them on and we built our barricades. We were an army dressed in faded jeans and sandals, too young and full of pride to be afraid. And we believed in things like justice, truth and freedom. We believed we had a right to liberty, and we believed that we could build a new tomorrow. That's how it seemed to Peter Pan and me. But we soon learned the truth of street rebellion, as that city crumbled round us, stone by stone, betrayed by those who promised they would help us against tanks and troops and guns. We stood alone, for revolution is no game for foolish dreamers, for dreamers never know the price that must be paid. And before long we learnt all power comes from a rifle, and we learnt to bleed and die and be afraid. And soon no one spoke of justice, truth or freedom, and soon no one gave one damn for liberty. For all we hoped was that we might go on surviving. They grew up fast, young Peter Pan and me. So the Empire dealt us death and fear and prison. There's no mercy from that military machine. So our street kids swapped their faded jeans and sandals for hoods and guns with loaded magazines. Now the years have brought their cruel retribution, and our brothers and our sisters bear the pain, as both sides strive for their military solutions. Politicians play their murderous games, and among the dead lie justice, truth and freedom, and among the dead lie hope and liberty. So if you care enough to mourn brave new tomorrows, pull up a chair, join Peter Pan and